So in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, there is a variant rule where you can use skills for different abilities. An example of this that probably came up on your table numerous times is using strength for intimidation rather than charisma. This can be applied to almost any ability score to any check, and what it does is it gives the player a potential benefit by encouraging and rewarding their creativity. This reminds me of skill challenges where players can use any skill or tool proficiency as long as they can explain how that would benefit the scenario they are in, thus rewarding their creativity. There are a ton of possibilities. You can use different scores for medicine check, like dexterity if it's a sewing, back together sort of thing, or exact position and getting a arrow wound out of them, or intelligence if you have to know the anatomy of the creature to be able to work on them. Another option is constitution, a stat which is almost never used in ability checks, can be used for something like an athletic swimming check to do instead of strength for athletics. You use constitution because it's about endurance rather than pure brute strength. Wisdom as street smarts for arcana instead of intelligence. Having witnessed magic but not used it before. This is a stretch, but intelligence athletics checks, if for example it's some sort of sport where your character has read about the rules and has seen all the techniques and memorized them but hasn't really played the game, then intelligence athletics is a potential way. It's a compromise because it allows you to use your own benefits as a player, being good intelligence, but not having the proficiencies of athletics. Dexterity for a deception roll if you are going to throw a rock to distract a guard to make them look over somewhere else while they sneak in. What's great about this rule is it's the perfect compromise, because like it said, the player gets to use a better stat, but compromising by maybe not having proficiency in that, or still being a check that the DM called for, that being athletics or arcana, etc. An intelligence sleight of hand check for tying knots, or intelligence sleight of hand for like a dexterity-based puzzle. An intelligence stealth check if you're trying to recall the plans and layout to a particular layer or area, and knowing all the guards' positions to avoid them. Dexterity performance for drawing, dancing, or using a musical instrument like the piano, which is very dex-based. Maybe a strength-based performance if you're either trying to woo someone with your guns, or doing some kind of percussion instrument. Even constitution for things like wind instruments, etc. A charisma-based religion check to get someone to join your religion. An intelligence survival if you're knowledgeable in certain types of berries that aren't poisonous and that's what you're going for. Using your spellcasting modifier as a sleight of hand check by using magic such as mage hand to take something from them. Wisdom history to recall something you've experienced rather than something you've read. Wisdom for any skill to teach said skill. There's a plethora of possibilities. These are just a few examples of the many, many ways you could take this as a player if your DM is up for that kind of role, which DMs, I think you should. It encourages creativity, as I said. It brings you unique ways to solve these problems because, if you want to use intelligence, you're going to have to find a reason to use intelligence for sleight of hand and explain it, which allows them to change their plan to something that's beneficial for them, creative and interesting, rather than just going through the front door or climbing up a wall the same old way. This variant rule is something I definitely recommend. See you next time. This is Sean from Dodeca Dungeon, signing off.